My downstairs neighbor tore down a load-bearing wall just to get a bigger living room. I went to confront her, she just threw a tantrum and acted like a total Karen. I tried to get the other residents together to fight back, but they were too scared to get involved and had the nerve to call me petty. Not only did I get the cold shoulder, someone dumped paint right in front of my door, so I documented everything, took my money, and got out. Bought a house in the next complex over. Then, not long after, an earthquake hit. The whole building started shaking like crazy. I watched from next door as everyone scrambled to get out, and I couldn't help but smile. And I knew this was only the beginning. Ms. Wang, why are you still tearing down that wall? Didn't we say you can't do that? This is gonna compromise the whole building's safety. I paid for this place. I'll do whatever I want with it. Who are you to tell me anything? You're all just broke losers who can't afford a house, crying about it on the internet. I was about to say something else, when suddenly a suicide note got dropped in the group chat. It accused me of bullying her online and driving her to take her own life. Say one more word and I'll do it right in front of you. The chat went dead silent. Nobody dared to say a thing. By the time the property manager showed up, Unit 602 already had a crowd outside. The load-bearing wall right across from the door had been stripped down to bare rebar. Workers were trying to cut through rebar as thick as a thumb with bolt cutters. Put some muscle into it! Did you even eat today? Stop right now! Why are you still tearing this down? Didn't we tell you you cannot touch load-bearing walls? Then how are we supposed to live in it? Look at this. Why would anyone put so many walls in such a small place? Take them down and look how much space you get. Let me tell you, I'm redoing this whole apartment as a wedding gift for my son. My son wants a big open living room. I'm not just tearing this one. This, and this are all coming down. The crowd groaned. The property manager grabbed her arm. He patiently explained why load-bearing walls cannot be removed. Don't give me that nonsense. I don't scare easy. If you don't renovate by the rules, you'll forfeit your renovation deposit. That deposit? Pocket change. Honey, I've got money to burn. Here, a few $1,000? Consider it a tip. The manager could see there was no getting through to her. He stomped his foot. If you don't renovate by code, you will lose your deposit. Yeah, whatever. That deposit? Pocket change. I've got money to burn. A few thousand? Consider it a tip. Someone in the crowd finally spoke up. If you've got all that money, why not just buy a bigger place? Right, this complex has units with 300 SQFT huge living rooms. Move-in ready too. You think I'm dumb? Wang Suilin shot a look at the person who spoke. Why would I spend money when I can just get more space for free? Why pay extra? I'd rather spend that money on good food. So you just don't care about your neighbors' lives? I've been listening this whole time and I couldn't hold back anymore. As the person living directly above her, I was the one who'd get hit hardest. I used to think, maybe she's just old and doesn't understand the risks. Or maybe she couldn't afford a bigger place. That's why she was so fixated on squeezing out a couple extra square feet. But after hearing her and the crowd talk, it all clicked. Turns out Wang Quilin ran a business back in the day. She's sitting on millions. Buying a bigger apartment would be nothing to her. Yet she was willing to tear down a load-bearing wall just for her own benefit, completely disregarding the safety of everyone in the building. It was infuriating. Exactly. You're gambling with the whole building's safety. That is so selfish. The neighbors piled on. Then she turned to face us all. Listen up, neighbors. It's my apartment, and if something goes wrong, that's on me. Don't let certain people use you as a pawn. Even if I tear out the wall, the most it affects is Unit 702. So what about the rest of you? Unit 706, you're at the end of the hall, way over there. How does this affect you at all? And you live on the top floor. You're so far removed. What could possibly affect you? And you, do you even live above me? Why are you even getting involved? Mind your business. The people she called out glanced over at me, like they just had an epiphany. They exchanged looks and started heading out. Hey, don't go, don't leave. Haven't you guys seen the news? When a load-bearing wall comes down, it affects the whole building, not just my unit. Hey kid, this is between you and the people downstairs. Handle it yourself. Why drag us into it? Seriously, this dude's got way too much drama. She said she'll take responsibility if anything happens. Let's just stay out of it. Hey, wait, everyone please don't go! I rushed to stop them. But nobody was listening. They all walked away. The property manager saw the crowd leave, and gave up too. Take it up with my supervisor, I can't do anything here. And just like that, he left too. I was the only one still standing there. Wang Quilin let out a cold laugh. So, how's that working out for you? Neighbors gotta look out for each other, right? When you go around pulling moves behind people's backs, nobody's gonna be on your side. Keep going, boys! I stood there staring at that smug look on her face. The workers kept swinging those bolt cutters without missing a beat. I was furious and panicking. I had no choice. I called 911. The cops showed up fast. After hearing me out, they brought the property manager back in. This is definitely a load-bearing wall. The officers tried to reason with Wang Quilin. Ma'am, this renovation is putting the entire building at risk. If the structure collapses, you will be held legally responsible. Collapse? Y'all are so dramatic. Is it collapsing right now? Mid-sentence. She suddenly plopped herself down on the open ledge of an uncovered bay window. Started wailing at the top of her lungs toward the street below. Drew a whole crowd. Ah! Ah! I am just a poor, miserable old woman. I worked my whole life to buy my son an apartment. And now, while I'm just trying to renovate it, I'm being harassed by the police. And bullied by awful neighbors. I'm so done, I don't want to live anymore. Everyone froze. The officer rushed over. Ma'am, please come down from there. Let's talk this out, okay? Ha ha ha. No, I don't care. I haven't even cut the rebar yet. What law did I break exactly? You're all in on it with that little snake. You just want me gone. The officers were speechless. They caught Wang Quilin off guard and pulled her back in from the ledge, then turned to me and the property manager. She technically hasn't cut any rebar, so no actual damage has been done. All we can do is advise. We recommend filing a formal complaint with the relevant authorities. Wang Quilin sat on the floor, still crying, shooting a smug grin at me between sobs. The neighbors who'd rushed over to watch scattered immediately. Nobody wanted to get caught in the crossfire. Once everyone cleared out, Wang Quilin stood up, brushed herself off, and got in my face. See that? Even the cops can't touch me. You're way out of your league, kid. Tearing down a load-bearing wall really can cause a collapse. If that happens, nobody's gonna be able to cover the damage. Oh yeah? How much are we talking? How much can I afford? 100K, 200K? You think I don't have it? You clearly haven't seen real money before. Get out of my way. Don't interrupt my crew. I got kicked out and went back home. All I could hear was thud, thud, thud. The sound of the wall being demolished downstairs echoing through the whole building. If this keeps up, something bad is gonna happen. The neighbors wouldn't help, the manager gave up, and the cops were powerless. So I looked up the city's housing authority hotline and gave them a call. Gotta say, they move fast. That same afternoon, a crew of inspectors in official jackets showed up. Wang Quilin tried to pull her tantrum routine again. It didn't work this time. This time it didn't work. These guys were pros. They split up and got to work. One held Wang Quilin back. Another measured the damage to the load-bearing wall. Luckily, the concrete was removed, but the rebar was still intact. The wall's structural integrity was still okay. They immediately called in the property manager. Wang Quilin was ordered to fix everything within a set deadline. No more demolition. Seeing that her tantrum wasn't gonna work this time, she caved surprisingly quick. Fine, got it. I finally breathed easy. But the next morning, when I opened my front door, my doorway was blocked with piles of bricks, wood planks, bags of white trash, a solid 1.5 feet high. My door was completely barricaded. Who did this? Pretty obvious. I sighed and bent down to start clearing it. But I must have triggered something. A bucket of paint came flying down from above, drenched me head to toe, and then I heard laughing in the hallway. I looked up. There were neighbors peeking through cracked doors watching me. I felt a chill run through me. My eyes welled up. This building's safety was everyone's problem. I was the only one who stepped up, got it handled. And now I'm the one getting punished for it. The same neighbors who benefited from my efforts weren't just ignoring me, they were laughing at me. I stormed back inside fuming, and video called my wife who was overseas for work. She'd been on a business trip abroad for over a month. I hadn't told her any of this and didn't want her to worry. But today I just couldn't hold it in anymore. Stay safe. Don't poke the bear downstairs. And don't sweat those selfish neighbors. I made some extra money on this trip. If things really go south, we'll just buy another place and move out. They won't have that option. They'll have to live with the consequences. After hearing her out, I felt a lot better. Took a shower, cleared my head, and sat down to review last night's security footage. In the middle of the night, a man in his 50s and a younger guy in his 30s hauled all that junk to my door and rigged the paint trap above it. What really stung, a neighbor opened their door mid-setup and saw everything. Didn't say a word, didn't stop them, didn't warn me, just waited to watch it play out. I saved the footage and headed out for work, trying to figure out who those two men were.